This episode of the ResortLoop.com podcast is brought to you by Joffrey's Coffee and Tea Company. Joffrey's is proud to be the official specialty coffee of Disney. Enjoy drinks and pastries at Joffrey's kiosks throughout the parks and check out the Disney Specialty Coffee Collection only at Joffreys.com.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
To those of you who have just joined us, welcome aboard the Disneyland monorail. For your safety, please remain seated, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. Watch your children, and no smoking, please.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. This is ResortLoop.com.
And you are?
Excited to be on the show, Bob. This is one of those shows we're going to look back and eventually we'll tell everybody what is exactly happening on this episode.
No, we will never.
We will have to.
We will never tell anyone.
It'll have to be like at a live event or something because this is crazy.
How this is all being done. When they look back in the annals of Resort Loop history,
watch your language.
This will be a very dark moment. I think.
I think this will be our finest hour.
This can't be an hour because I don't have the time. Anyway, speaking of history,
yes,
Tim,
Bob,
this day in Disney history.
What happened?
Are you ready for this?
I'm sitting down.
In 2011, this kind of ties in with what our show's going to be about.
Yes.
In 2011, it is reported that Disney is developing yet another film based on one of its theme park rides. That's right. Gasp.
And what was it?
Walt Disney Pictures has hired Jason Dean Hall to write the script based on The Matterhorn.
Oh, my.
Wasn't that a great film?
You know what? I must have missed it. It must have been a short. I don't know.
I don't think it was even a short.
No, I don't think so either.
And on this day in Disney history, in 2013... all of the home entertainment distribution rights previously held by Paramount Studios for Marvel, Iron Man 2, Thor, and Captain America, the First Avenger, now revert to Disney. Cha-ching.
Get out.
Cha-ching.
I love it.
And my stock skyrocketed.
both shares.
Both shares. I'm a multi-dollionaire. Dollionaire?
Raking in tens of dollars.
Tens and tens of dollars. So, Tim.
Yes, Bob.
That's all the Disney history I have for right now. But what are we going to talk about today?
We're going to talk about something that I am very excited to hear about. Someplace I have not been.
No.
You've been now twice.
Twice.
I want to hear, as does our audience, the loopers out there, about your trip to Disneyland.
This one much better than the first one. If you recall the first time I was at Disneyland, I was kind of underwhelmed.
You were a negative Nelly.
I wasn't negative.
You were negative.
I wasn't negative.
You were half empty.
I wasn't. No. It was just that it. Here's what happened. We went to California Adventure thinking we'll finish at Disneyland.
Yes.
Because I wanted to save the best for last.
Of course you did.
But of course, by the time you're done running around California Adventure, you get to Disneyland, you're tired, you're kind of worn out, and it didn't have that magic.
You need to pace yourself.
Needed to pace myself. So this time, we went straight to Disneyland first. Okay. Rope dropped Disneyland. Fantastic. Had a great time. Disneyland had a much better experience, much better feel for me.
Okay.
This time. Again, we stayed across the street at the Parkview Inn. Can't say enough good things about the Parkview Inn. It's right at the entrance to Disneyland. I can't remember the exact address, but it's right at the entrance to Disneyland. The only other hotel that's closer would be the Grand Californian.
Wow.
I don't even think the Disneyland Hotel and Paradise Pier are as close to the entrance as the Parkview Inn, off-property.
That just amazes me. Being used to Disney World and how far the off-property hotels are.
Absolutely.
And the number of buses and shuttles and transporting you have to do to get there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And you're just walking across the street.
I'm walking across the street, to walk in there. I don't even think you could really walk from the Contemporary into the Magic Kingdom.
Wow.
As easy as it was for us to walk into Disneyland. So we started our day at Disneyland, had a great time. I've got to say, we experienced something different this time toward the end of our stay, which was just spectacular. And everybody, it's so easy to miss and so easy to just go right past. And it's right there on Main Street, and it's called The Disneyland Story, presenting great moments with Mr. Lincoln.
Oh, Mr. Yes.
And as we know, I mean, there have been changes to the animatronics and Mr. Lincoln, but it's pretty much the same thing that Walt had created back in the 60s.
Wow.
Or, I'm sorry, the 50s. Or was it the 40s for the World's Fair? I can't remember now the exact date. But it was in the 40s or 50s, I believe.
Was it the 64 World's Fair?
Was it the 64
Might have
World's
been
Fair?
64.
Maybe it was 64.
I want to say 64.
Anyway. I don't remember. At any rate, very impressive. Very, very impressive. The whole thing was just... it's very cool because when you walk in there, they have a giant... The original model for Disneyland and what it was supposed to look like.
Awesome.
They had the bench that Walt supposedly sat on while watching his daughter ride the carousel, and thought there needs to be a place for families to enjoy together.
You showed me a picture of that, and I was like, can you sit on it? You're like, no, it's a display.
You are not allowed to sit on it.
Don't sit on that bench.
No. There were lasers and all kinds of security around there.
You were repelling in like Tom Cruise to sit on the bench.
A drop of sweat hit it, and they ejected me from the park.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm kidding. But it was a very moving, very cool experience to see a lot of photos of Walt and Roy, preparing the park and just all the really cool history of Disneyland in that experience. Loved it. As far as the park goes itself, again, it's still an intimate park. It's not the same scope and size as Walt Disney World, the Magic Kingdom.
Okay.
But with all of as intimate as it was very crowded that day. Very crowded that day. But there were two things that I noticed right away. No humidity.
Hey.
So made it very comfortable.
Okay.
And two, with as crowded as it was, the lines weren't very long for the rides.
Okay.
Which to me, and I could be wrong, but this is what I'm getting out of that, is that people just like to go to Disneyland, locals,
right,
and just hang out at Disneyland.
I was going to say,
spend the day.
Do you think there's a lot of people that are just going to experience Disneyland and not necessarily the attractions?
Exactly.
Oh,
exactly. walk around, have some, a churro or a turkey leg and a Dole Whip.
Kind of like a World Showcase experience.
Exactly.
Okay.
And when you have those annual passes, it's probably very easy to do that. Did notice that a lot of local buses drop people off.
Okay.
It's not like at Walt Disney World where you just have the resort buses going in, and occasionally the Mears Taxi or something bringing somebody in. But it's people can just walk in right off the streets. I mean, it's right there in a neighborhood. So
public transportation just drops you off right there?
Public transportation dropping you right off.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And the other resorts or hotels around Disneyland have transportation as well, but a lot of local flavor there, which was very interesting, very very neat to see that. And people just kind of relaxing and enjoying the day at Disneyland instead of like we do when we go to Disney World. We're run, get on those rides, got to hit everything. So the rides weren't real crowded, not like at Walt Disney World's at times. But one of the key rides we had to ride was Haunted Mansion.
Oh.
Haunted Mansion is awesome.
Oh, I've heard this.
Awesome. And I got to tell you, the biggest thing that they got going right now at Haunted Mansion is the Hatbox Ghost.
Does it really make the ride? The attraction?
Oh, man. It is one of the best visuals that I've seen so far in Haunted Mansion.
Wow.
The most of the ride is very similar to the ride at that we're familiar with at Walt Disney World. But when you see that Hatbox Ghost, it's very cool.
Oh, wow.
Very, very cool.
As you know me, I refuse to actually watch too many videos on anything until I actually do it myself. So.
Right, yeah. You don't want to spoil the surprise. And I didn't either. I knew the Hatbox Ghost was there, but I hadn't seen it and didn't know where to expect it. But, man, when he's right there, it's awesome.
Wow.
Very, very cool. Space Mountain, and I got to say this, it's not, I don't think one is better than the other in any of these rides. I don't think you can say, well, Walt Disney World's ride's better than Disneyland's ride. I think it's just a different experience, and if you go in as it's a different experience, I don't think you're going to be disappointed either way.
Okay.
We rode Small World. Loved Small World.
Was that good?
It was very, very good, and they have a lot of the Disney characters in the ride.
I heard that there's like a big hubbub a couple years ago when they were throwing them in there.
Right, but I enjoyed that. I thought it was very cool.
Now, I think that could die down kind of quickly. I think once people saw it,
yes,
and realized everything was going to be done relatively tastefully.
It was very tastefully done. Everything kept within the theming of whatever area. Like there was a Buzz or a Woody and Jessie in the American Southwest section of it, and they were very well done. They looked like the other characters for the most part. It wasn't, you just slap a Woody doll there and there he is.
Right.
So we did that, and Space Mountain. Love Space Mountain. Love the music in Space Mountain.
I've heard about music is actually in the vehicle.
It's very, very good.
Oh.
And you're sitting side by side. It seemed a lot smoother. It wasn't as jerky, and I really enjoyed Space Mountain. I like the side-by-side vehicles.
Okay.
Much better than the front to back seating.
Are you going to get to Pirates? Because I'm very curious about your thoughts on Pirates.
I loved Pirates.
Wow.
Pirates starts you off very similar to the boat ride in Mexico, the Mexican Pavilion.
Yes, El Rio de Tiempo.
Yeah, where you are actually going through a bayou, though, and there's a restaurant. The Blue Bayou Restaurant is right there.
Heard of that.
So you can see the people if you look to your right or to the left, and you feel like you're in a southern bayou, a swamp, Louisiana or something like that. And then the ride starts, and the rest of the ride's pretty similar to the one at Walt Disney World, but very cool.
I've heard it's longer. Is that...
It is longer because of that whole bayou section.
Okay.
That's what makes it, I think, longer. The queue is outside. Most of the queues are outside. And this queue was outside. And as soon as you go inside, you're pretty much ready to get on the ride.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, no humidity. That'd make it easy.
Exactly. And that was another thing. Teacups. My son and I rode the teacups. Completely uncovered. It's just out there. There's no.
You're in the elements.
You're in the elements, and it was beautiful. It was a perfect day for it.
Okay.
My wife loved it. She loved the fact that she was able to walk around the Magic Kingdom without, just sweat drenching from the humidity. So, did not get to do Big Thunder. Didn't get to do that one. It was a long wait time for that, and didn't get to do Splash Mountain. Also didn't get to do the Rivers of America, the pirate. They instead of Tom Sawyer's Island, they have a pirate island.
Okay.
But they do a pretty cool little show with pirates and Peter Pan and Captain Hook and all with a big pirate ship. They have a pirate ship there as well as a steamboat.
Oh, okay. Is that several times a day, once a day? How do they do that?
It looked to me like it was once a day.
Okay.
And they got a big giant alligator crocodile that follows Captain Hook's boat around, which was very, very cool. I would have liked to have seen the island, but again, time was against us.
You're right.
They still have their Toontown.
Oh.
And we did Roger Rabbit's ride, which was fun. It was a lot of fun. You're still spinning around a lot, and it's on a track. It's similar to most of the like a Winnie the Pooh kind of thing. Only it spins a lot more, a little bit more. Yeah.
Is there a Mr. Toad there? I heard
Mr. Toad had to ride Mr. Toad. Had to go back in time. Absolutely.
Oh, that's cool.
Absolutely. Loved Mr. Toad, and they actually have a Pinocchio ride as well.
Get out!
Instead of Peter Pan, they've got a Pinocchio ride.
Wow. I didn't even know that.
Well, actually, I think they have a Peter Pan ride, but it was down.
Oh, okay.
So we did ride Pinocchio, which I don't know, a little bit. I was a little disappointed in the Pinocchio ride because the story was somewhat similar, but not. It wasn't really I didn't think it was all that well done, but
right.
it was still fun. It was something new. But I got to say, we rode the monorail.
Mm-hmm.
Completely different experience.
Okay.
Than our Resort Loop monorail.
Of course it is.
Because number one, no air conditioning. Although you don't necessarily need it because
you don't. Although I had one of those on our last trip down, non-air conditioned monorail. But go ahead.
I heard about that. Yeah,
a little hot.
A little warm. But no air conditioning, and unfortunately, you load when you're in the park. You can also load at Downtown Disney, but when you load the monorail in the park, you're over Autotopia.
Okay.
And you know my feelings on Autotopia.
Yeah.
Very smelly.
Mm-hmm.
All of that gas and
not that
exhaust.
Not that futury.
Not futury at all. And it was starting to become overwhelming. I was getting carbon monoxide poisoning, and it was just it was rough.
Was it sponsored by Dynaco?
It should have been.
Autotopia?
It should have been. But it was. We didn't ride that either. Didn't get a chance to get on the Matterhorn. The Matterhorn had the longest wait of all, and it had to have been close to 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
So that was a long ride.
Right.
But all in all, I got a better appreciation for Disneyland. And I will say this, as much as I love Jungle Cruise at Walt Disney World, I have never, ever had as good a skipper as we had at Disneyland in Anaheim. She was fantastic.
Okay, so it wasn't John Lasseter, wasn't your skipper?
It was not John Lasseter. No. And by the way, very disappointed. I saw that John Lasseter was at Pixar like 3 days after we left. I was very disappointed.
We had to make sure you weren't there.
Well, yeah. Security said he is actually on his way back across the desert. So, but...
I've heard the talent pool for people at Disneyland is much higher being in Southern California.
Much, much higher. Now,
not that they're not fantastic in Florida, but it's just a totally different level of...
Absolutely. The talent, when it comes to the parades, we watched one of the parades, very talented group of people in the parades. All of the street performers were very good. Again, the Jungle Cruise skipper, she was fantastic, best one I've ever had. Just a lot of fun. And but I will say this, I had a better experience with general cast members at Disney World than I did this time at Disneyland. It may have just been the folks that I talked to.
Okay.
But just more of that magic at Walt Disney World as far as just the general cast members go.
Okay.
However, I did meet a lovely older woman. She was ringing us out over at Pirates, and she was actually from Parma, Ohio.
Get out.
Not far from here.
Not far from here at all.
So I told her next time I'll bring pierogies and kielbasi.
Yeah, that's right.
So Disneyland was great. Then from there, we went over to Cars Land in the evening. The only thing I cared about over at California Adventure was seeing Cars Land at night.
All the neon?
And the neon, it did not disappoint. It is gorgeous. I could have stayed there all night. We ate at Flo's Cafe, had a little dinner there. It was delicious, and just being there at night is just a spectacular. You feel like you're in Radiator Springs.
Wow.
It was very, very cool. We didn't really do anything else in California Adventure because we had done it before. Actually, we did. We did, I forgot, we did Soarin'.
Okay.
And again, that queue, almost all of it outside.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the queues are outside. But it got very cool in the evening. California was very cold. It's unseasonably cold this past couple of weeks in June.
Okay.
It was cold, so it got cool in the evening, so it was a little uncomfortable because it was too cold. Of all things.
Man, you don't hear that in Florida very often.
No,
Wow.
You don't hear that in Florida. So, but just had a really good time. I think my family had a good time, and can't wait to go back. I think you and I have an announcement that we're going to make not too far from now about you and I possibly heading out to an event.
An event?
Maybe. We'll see.
We will have to see. Oh, my goodness.
The stars, the planets all have to be in a line for that to
There's
happen.
a lot of planets and a lot of stars.
But so that was my trip to Disneyland in California. And this continues our vacation experiences.
Our vacation wrap-ups. Before you say what you say at the end of the show,
Yeah.
I want to know more about your hotel right across the street. Now, they're really close together. Like all these, there's a lot of hotels near the entrance.
Correct.
Does your hotel, did it feel like you were close to Disney, or is it just a generic?
No.
I don't want to say generic
It
styling.
was just a standard hotel.
Standard hotel? Did it have Disney pictures or anything?
It did have a few little Disney Disney photos in the lobby. Now, in the actual rooms, there wasn't a whole lot, but it had bunk beds. It has been completely refurbished since the last time we were there 3 years ago. So we have we had bunk beds, which was fantastic. And a queen bed.
Now, do you feel like you're outside the bubble when you're just across the street? You still feel like you're outside the Disney bubble?
And the thing that we don't see as Walt Disney World visitors is the characters. I mean, I'm standing at the traffic light getting ready to cross the street to go into Disneyland, and there's a cast member standing right next to me from Main Street. He's got his Main Street
just going to work
costume on. He's just going to work.
Oh, okay. So there's no tunnels, or they're not underneath.
No
there?
tunnels. No.
Right.
Now, once they're inside, I think they have some ways to get around the back. But yeah, I mean, he's walking in with me.
Huh.
So we don't get to see that at Walt Disney World, but it was still it was a good experience. But you could tell you weren't immersed.
Okay.
In the Disney magic, in the bubble, as you said.
Right. So one thing I've always wondered is, if I were to go out there, would I want to stay at a Disney hotel just for the full experience, or right across the street? You're probably saving a ton of cash.
Yeah. I'll be honest. I'll be right up front with it. It was $150 a night to stay where I was staying.
Wow.
I think the closest,
nice and clean.
The lowest price. Oh, yeah, it was beautiful. Yeah, and the pool was heated and very clean and nice, and you could sit at the pool and actually watch the fireworks.
Oh.
From Disneyland, and it just, for the price, you couldn't beat it. And I want to say that the closest, as far as, I think Paradise Pier was the cheaper one, and it was still like $289 or something.
Yeah.
So over $100 more to stay there. And it was further away. It would have been a longer walk for us to.
And you still visit the other hotels, I'm assuming, just like at Disney.
Oh, yeah.
Disney World.
Oh, yeah. We went into the Grand Californian. It was beautiful because, like I said, it had gotten kind of cool, and we sat by a fireplace. It was beautiful.
Wow.
It's very similar theme to the Wilderness Lodge. So, but just a great time. I thought that riding Soarin', being that we were in California, would not be as fun of an experience, but it was still a great experience.
Oh, yeah.
Being on Soarin', and it was kind of neat because we got to say, okay, we saw that as we're flying over. We saw that. We've been near someplace like that, so it was a lot of fun. It was a great trip. Other than the air conditioning going out in the Mojave Desert on the way home.
You're cursed. The air conditioning curse continues.
The next time we go out, there will be an airplane involved, I'm sure.
And the air conditioning won't go out on that.
I hope not. Oh, my goodness. So, Tim,
yes,
that is all I've got.
Oh, Bob, that was great. Thanks for sharing that with us. That was a lot of fun. I'm Tim Scott. You can find me on Twitter at ResortLoopTim. Of course, at Facebook at Tim Resortloop Scott. And that website, we just keep growing over there at ResortLoop.com.
I'm ResortLoop Bob on the Twitter and Instagram. Don't forget Facebook.com/ResortLoop, where we'll post some pictures and fun stuff. And don't forget to rate us on iTunes. We like those ratings.
Yeah,
where
we
can
need some more of
people
those.
Where can people send their opens, Tim?
Well, you can email them to us or just call us at area code 414
WDW
Loop. Everybody, thanks for joining us. This has been The Gateway to the Magic.
See you, everybody.